pointer on it.
All right, we are live.
All right, here we are.
Can we get some video here? Yep, we got video. We should have audio. Let's see if we can do a little. Yep, we got audio.
Okay.
It's great.
All right, guys, hodl, hodl, hodl. Build, go. Hodl, hodl, hodl. Save, save, save. Build a. Sound money, sound money. Okay, we're working on sound money. We're going to be updating the website. You guys will actually be able to buy these now. I'm going to cut down the price so everybody can afford them. Probably they'll be around $400 delivered. Well,
microphone.
Oh, okay. And we have, this is the model, the one that we now are going to be selling. This one has a pointer on it, and I only made a few of those because it don't work. This one has a better on and off button. Look at this. I see it go on. It's really cool when it's dark. Shut that door if you can, so we don't have the dog barking. All right, the ugly old goat in the background there, he has a mask on, so we are definitely compliant here. We don't want the feds raiding us down here. I think they do have jurisdiction or something in Mexico, but they don't do the raiding. They let the federales do it. And so there we are, guys.
Ain't no goat getting no Rona over here.
You
can't really see the goat there.
Yeah, and I want that B to be more B. Okay, and there we go. All right, so
sweet.
And don't forget that goat has my mask. I got to go out today, and I can't go out without a mask. So the Marines are. So, guys, I wanted to do this is open to the public. You guys that follow me and you're not members, you missed out on our lifetime membership. I did that for a year. Over a year, and then we ended it on April 30th. So I'm sorry you can't do it. I've made some exceptions if somebody was referred before and they didn't get paid, but basically, we're in this for the long term. So we have to have a model that is not just self-sustaining, but in terms of profit, because everything that we do, we put back into it. If you see, you don't need all the stuff that's in the background to trade, but we have it just to better illustrate to you. I just trade off of a laptop with multiple windows, and that's I keep it really simple. But we also want to impress you guys, and so that's what we're doing. We're gonna go pick up a pinball machine today.
That's right. We will pick up.
We need it or tomorrow, and so. We do want to have fun if you're not having fun trading, guys, it's because you're over trading.
And you know what? A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people are concerned about work, but we're actually in business and we're working hard and we're making money.
And actually the goat lady too. I mean, it's an opportunity, guys. If you're used to just working for somebody, you got to change that thinking. There's all kinds of things out there. Just when there's change, there's opportunity, and there's going to be fortunes. While everybody's losing, there's going to be fortunes made, and so you just have to have that entrepreneurial spirit. So I'm sitting here. We're not going to have the Baja 500 this year.
You know what? We were driving around yesterday. There's a lot of trucks, really, really dirty trucks, and they look kind of like they just came out of a Mad Max movie. So maybe they were just kind of racing it on their own.
Oh yeah, they do that all. You come down here if they're not, just have fun. So they're down here working a lot, and they could, maybe they will have the. We'll just find out. As far I doubt it too. I hope they'll have the 1,000.
Not an official one,
but.
All right. So, I mean, the price just did some big moves. Should we just kind of take a look?
Yeah, I want to go. Well, let's go through the price first, because I told you guys, you guys that are members, that I had a substantial position on, and I cut it in half when it was up here before the break. I think up there about 96 or something. I'll have to go look, but I didn't change my position. Hey, you got to be bullish here. I mean, I see all the technicals. You've got that ascending triangle. You can look at it as a cup and handle. You can look at it knocking it up against 10,000. But everybody saw that and everybody sees it. And so then they buy it. And so I sold it. Not that I didn't change my position. I just sold out. I kept my position, but I reduced the size. And so, my equity declined, but not much. And so when we got this break, I did start buying it back. And so do we have the equity account on there? So you can show it?
Okay, so I can get you the equity account in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
But,
all right. So I'll just go through what's going on here. What I teach and what I preach is money management, money management, money management. And I know people get really tired of hearing that. They just get, well, yeah, I know all that. Well, you know what? If you ever have that attitude on money management, you don't get it yet, because it's not something you should dismiss. It should be part of your DNA. And if it's not, you shouldn't be trading. If you ever trade, and particularly nowadays, and you blame an exchange, you're a loser, because you don't know what you're doing. There's no reason. You cannot lose on an exchange any more than you put on it. With the sophistication that Arthur Hayes has made, with a deregulated markets, we went through a lot of no good platforms and creators of market. I lost. I mean, they go. Was it Crypto was one. There was a bunch of them. I got hit by several of them, and lost everything that was on those exchanges. But are we doing? Are we good? Okay, so but what Arthur Hayes has done, he built a new platform, never been hacked, very secure. And one of the reasons is he has no hot wallets, and he only releases funds once a day. Now that has caused a problem in the network, and I think that will be resolved. I mean, it kind of drives up the fees, and it hurts the small trader. I pulled out 8 Bitcoin the other day. I paid the highest fees in a long time, to 0.22, which is about 20 bucks, more than $20 to get it off of there. I did it for two reasons. Number one, I wanted to reduce my exposure. Number two, I wanted to reduce my exchange risk. Not that I think BitMEX is at risk. They are, not because they're doing anything wrong, but because there's some very powerful elements in the world that really want to put him out of business, and because they failed to innovate the way he's innovated. They failed to realize, hey, you can socialize losses, you can use there's stops, and then there's equity, the management, where you get wrecked. You can't lose more than what you set as your parameters. Now, I just use what's called cross, but you can actually set your own and limit it. If you get in there and you mismanage your funds, that's another thing. I mean, that's completely your fault. I don't know where the market's going. You'll never hear from me that I know where it's going. I know I don't know, and I trade accordingly. And I'm not that good a trader. Okay, there's guys out here that trade a lot better than I ever have. But you know what? You can be the best trader in the world, and you screw up once on money management, you're ruined. You can't play again. All right. That's good. Well, just show my equity. How far I can't see it very well. Well, put up the weekly first. Let's go because I think that makes it clear. Okay, so here's what I've been doing, and I can't read any of that stuff. Where does it start out with? Am I starting out? Yeah.
Yeah, so the blue line up top is the position size. This is the weekly chart, all the way up until basically today, the past few weeks. This is a new app that Victor Villacoña is working on, and it's a way of charting your own equity, your own wealth, when you're trading, rather than looking at at the price only, which is sort of a global metric. You're looking at your own equity, and this is basically a tool that we're kind of Victor is developing in collaboration with Ugly to try to sort of visualize money management. I think is sort of what
right.
Doing.
And it traces your own account. We don't really care what the market's doing, because whatever the market does, it doesn't affect you. It only affects it if you're in the market and you have your own equity. So you want to trade your own equity. If you look, can you have an arrow there, and you can see the equity spike down that I had. I'm sure that was the March, right down there, the green, right there. I think pretty sure. In fact, if you can pull up the daily, it probably illustrate it better. Yeah, switch it to the daily, and I think it'll show better. Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. So I was just saying that this is an app that Ugly is developing that Victor Villacoña is developing in collaboration with Ugly Old Goat, and it's a way to visualize money management and focus on your equity rather than the price itself only, which is kind of like a global metric, right? So this app that's being developed kind of helps you sort of visualize money management. This piece up here is the blue line is the total position size, and then the green line up here, the one in the middle, is realized profits or P&L as far as BitMEX goes. It's only connected to BitMEX right now, and it has a live connection to BitMEX, so it's getting like up to date data. And then at the bottom is the trades, right? That's my understanding.
Well, that's my equity, that daily equity swing. So if you go to that red spike, that's what a lot of people call Black Thursday. I'll call it Green Thursday.
Big dip.
It was Green Thursday for me. And I got wrecked along with everyone else because I bought it over 5,000, got stopped at about 4,700, 4,800. But when I did get wrecked, I immediately sent more funds in. I didn't wait. We went out for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
Couple hours, we all went to the doctor, came back, and there the market was sitting under 32. And so I had money in the account. I was able to pick up, not much, but 40,000 Bitcoin of the June futures, $1,500 under spot. Well, that was kind of a no-brainer. It was kind of flaky getting in. You got in immediately. And I missed it, and then people sold off again and went down there one more time, and I got my fill, and you panicked along with everybody else. I mean, that's just kind of where that market was one day. So then if you look at the other green spike, I'm sure that was when we went down September. We went down and tested the green one, the red one. No, down. No. See this little the doji, that one. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure that's where the SIP went down to 44. So I added to the position. It looks like a red substantially. And so, basically the equity we started out with in February 4th of 2019 was 2 Bitcoin. We took 32 Bitcoin out of the market by the end of the last year. And then this year I started with 0.6, and we've taken 9 out. Now, at one time I did add 2 on at that peak. I was actually down for the year about 1.4 Bitcoin, but I only put in 0.6, which was what I originally started with. And so we've now taken 19 Bitcoin out, which I don't know is what, about a 30. And we have, if we pick up the account, we have about 3 or 4 Bitcoin in there. So I've got 23 Bitcoin with 0.6 and 23 on the 30. I made about, from that original 2, we're at 54 Bitcoin. We've had downturns, but that's the key. You don't want these big major downturns. It's okay to get wrecked, guys. I've been wrecked twice this year. What you don't want to do is get ruined. If you get ruined, it's because of your fault. And I do want to comment a little bit because there is this lawsuit that just came out. I did get a chance to look at it and review it. I'm a pretty damn good jailhouse lawyer. I'm specialized in my own industry. I've actually trained some attorneys I won't mention on TCPA law because I learned it on my own. And so I do know basically, I know the law fairly well, better than most of your laymen. I think this lawsuit is probably a lot of power behind it, but I don't think it has any merit. The biggest problem they're going to have to overcome is jurisdiction. That's what this issue is all about. United States wants jurisdiction over BitMEX, and they're trying their best. And the powers that be, you got to remember that in our system of government, we have lobbyists, and their people, the exchanges people are on the CFTC. The stock markets people are on the SEC. These are the United States corruption is much more subtle than Mexican corruption. That's one thing I kind of like about Mexico. It's in your face. It's kind of like prison. You kind of know where you stand, and prison's probably the most polite place I've ever been, particularly when you get into max security or even medium. If you bump into me, it's excuse me. I never heard any threats in prison. Okay, you threaten somebody, you're probably not going to wake up the next day. Okay, I never fortunately, they don't care. And I was very fortunate. you know, the worst case scenario, there was a guy killed the day before I came on campus, and the day after there was somebody killed too. I heard. So, but the one time that I spent most of my time at was in El Reno, you know, and that's kind of, you know, it's a glass house, and that's where I learned the law.
The point is that the corruption in the United States is at the high levels.
It's a high level corrupt, much more sophisticated. I take my hat off every time I mention Mr. Hayes. What's his first? Arthur Hayes. Because, you know, the guy's really done a lot. You may not like him, but everybody, you got to admire what he's done and the sophistication that he's brought in the market. And these people that are calling, oh, we need to regulate it, is absolutely wrong. And I know that Adaptive Capital, and by name, I wouldn't mention it, except he was mentioned in name. Muradov is mentioned in that by name. And, you know, I understand what happened to them. I think they made a mistake because they kind of blamed it on the exchange when they need to take full. They need to just say, you know what, we fucked up. It's not the exchange that did it. They're mentioned in the suit. Hopefully they have nothing to do with it, but it's going to be their truthful testimony. Yeah, we fucked up. It was nothing to do with the exchange, because that's what it should have never happened. You can't lose that many 60% of your equity unless you have 60% of your equity on the exchange. That's money management, guys. It's that simple. That simple. Okay, that's why I took the 8 Bitcoin off. Not that my position on the market hasn't changed. I told everybody that when we got up here, everybody's going to get bullish again. And I predicted when we were down. I said, all we have to do is go back up. You have a reverse head and shoulders. You're going to have, what about that? The cup and handle. You're going to be pushing the 10,000. You got it moving. Everything's setting it up. But the difficulty is the way I liken this market is kind of like where we were at 6,500. If you want to go back to, I think it was 2018 when we finally broke down, we could never. We would go down there and test it, but backwardization would come in and we'd rally. Then finally we did break it. Yeah, back that one right there. Yeah, the whole thing, every time we, and you know, one analyst that I really do respect is Tone Vays, and he said all along, this thing's going to break down. And he actually went, he never trades, but he finally did on BitMEX, and it then exposed, oh, he was a US citizen. They had to shut his account down. They had to take away. He had a great referral program. He was my referral. He could tell every time I stopped trading because his referrals would go down. I mean, it was very lucrative for him, but it was, you know, he's giving you all this free content and he deserved it. And then he actually traded on the market. But once he did, it revealed, oh, US citizens. Well, I understand to play that game, Arthur Hayes BitMEX has to say, we do not allow, if you are in the US, if you're a US citizen, if you have any connection to the United States, even though if they closed down my wife's account because I logged in under a US VPN in Mexico because I couldn't get to someplace else because of that. So I tried to explain it. I said, no, we don't care. You know, no, they got to close the account because they have to show that, you know, we basically, I'm not sure where they're located. I think it's an island, the Seychelles or something. But even if a court claims, okay, we have jurisdiction here, they can show that government, say, no, they don't have jurisdiction. This is not a worthy suit. And about the only thing that they determine that they have jurisdiction, about the only thing that will happen is Arthur Hayes cannot come to the United States anymore, or may not be able to go to someplace where he can be extradited. But this is a civil suit. This is not criminal. And I read the whole thing. There's nothing there that implicates a RICO or a crime. In, you know, who's behind this? Like I say, I would be very interested. So just exactly, and it might be just a vexatious litigant, but it was, they have enough research in there that they're getting, these attorneys are getting lots of aid.
Right.
So, and they've tried to make a case, but I can go through point by point. I don't think there's a leg to stand on, but the battle is not the merits of the case. There's no merit there at all. Right. The battle is going to be over jurisdiction.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And you know, maybe we should do a show specifically on this and go over the lawsuit. But one thing that you did mention was
Well, I'd like
that,
to get the attorneys on there, that
Right.
particularly the class action attorneys, and maybe Tone. And I don't feel like I should do the
Sure.
show, but I'd be glad to give my 2 cents worth.
Sure.
But look, I have attorney friends. I respect them in a degree, but they kind of hate me. They don't want to hear what I have to say, because I basically say, you know what, you guys are all in violation of the Constitution. They all have that ESQ. We do not allow you to have a title of nobility or special privilege in the United States. But they took hold of that, and they are the exceptions. They are American nobility. I think it's fine if they want to have that, but they should not be allowed to vote. They should not be allowed to have a public office, because they've decided we're going to live here and not live under the Constitution. We are nobility. You peons can go to court, but we're the only ones that can represent you. And that's bullshit. So, that's my opinion of attorneys. Some of my, I know a lot of these guys. Have good friends that are attorneys, and they just, it's their, I get it. It's their interest. They make a living. They can't practice law unless they're a member of the bar. That's the problem.
Right.
Okay.
And to bring it back to VidMix and sort of kind of close that topic, I mean, you mentioned the other day that they basically have to have an ironclad case that they are not trying to serve Americans, and they basically
have no intention to. They're doing their best.
Game that they're playing. Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, there's all kinds of evidence. I'm a U.S. citizen. I can't trade there. I can't trade there. Yeah. I'm married to a Mexican woman, so she's. People always want me to trade for them. I don't trade for anybody but the goat lady. Okay, that's it.
Right. There you have
and
it.
She's my wife. And guys, sorry, but maybe if you're a beautiful woman, you'd have a chance. But mostly, I'm not homosexual, and I don't like assholes. So
there you have it. Okay, so should we look at the price?
Well, yeah, let's go look
at the price.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's the weekly there. So we can just look at that, guys. Nothing's happened. Okay, look, you're just looking at the weekly. Okay,
this is the weekly price. Right. Let us know if you guys have any questions. Throw them in there. I saw one about mining up there in the mining floor. We can maybe look at that a little bit. Though Ugly doesn't really look too much at the mining stuff.
No.
But here's the 4 hour.
Let me shine my light, my little 2 cents worth on mining. I don't care. The fundamentals of Bitcoin. There's 21 million made. There's no inflation rate, guys. The release is delayed, but the Bitcoin has no inflation. It's just not all of them are out yet. And the idea that Bitcoin has an inflation rate is just like the term Bitcoin maximus. That term has been bandied about and actually created by those that promote the shit coins, because they want to say, well, we have this inflation rate, but see, eventually our inflation rate is going to be lower than Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't have an inflation rate. There's a fixed amount coming out. They're not all out there yet, but they will be.
Yeah, it's perfectly predictable, and it's never been changed arbitrarily by any kind of committee or council, right?
Okay, so guys, that's the 4 hour. Let's look at the 30-minute chart so you can see that. Now, again, I'd have to go look and see. I mean, subscribers get one thing that you get, guys, is with my subscription is you get all my past trades on a CSV file, and that can be loaded up on the equity app, and then you can also load your own trading history. So if you look here, okay, I started buying that dip, that one, not the first, not this. Keep going.
The May 20, the May
no,
21.
This one just today, the 32nd one. I started buying right in okay, you've had 2 dips.
You've had 2 dips.
All right, I bought the first one, and then I bought the second one.
Right.
Okay.
So the first one was 280, 288, 89.
Right. Go a little higher. About where it is now is where I started buying it, and then I bought it all right down.
Got it.
That's what I call goat stops, guys. I was looking to buy back in. And what I did is I said, okay, this looks pretty decent. We do have a Telegram group now. You can probably, do you want to show that so they can see it? I actually tweeted out saying I'm buying here. I wasn't able to not tweet out, but I put it on the thing. I'm buying here. But I'm buying back that I sold
Yeah.
higher. So if you pull up the BitMEX account, we can go look at the
We
trade
have to
executions.
put in the
You can go to
the rocket
the
ship
fills. Yeah, you can go to the
Yeah,
fills.
you got the magical code.
Oh, I got the magic code somewhere, but
yeah.
Can you bring my phone, Eddie?
Yeah. So you bought these dips. You actually took out. You lowered your position
I got
somewhat
out up
around
there
here.
before that big break up there. I right up
one-
there is where I got out of
This
half. I don't know exactly where it was, but I reduced my position by half
right.
because there were just too many people. I don't need this one. I need the other one. The one
Yeah.
I don't have.
So this guy.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, we got it. We found it, Eddie. Yeah, I mean everybody's bullish, right? And when everybody's bullish, what I'm starting to understand of that is that if everybody's bullish, then everybody already bought, and if everybody bought, then there's nobody else left to buy, more or less, right? And
yeah, and
you know how big this market is.
If this is a most very rarely you're going to buy a breakout and it keeps going up. You're going to have some kind of fire you got to walk through.
Right.
And so I didn't disagree that we can go up there. It's just that, I just think we're going to have some real problems. And I am a breakout buyer in the sense that if we break and go up to 11 or 12,000, that's where I'll double down. I didn't want to double down anticipating a breakout, because instead I wanted to lighten up anticipating it wasn't going to break out. So,
right.
All right. Let's see if I can give you this.
Okay, we're gonna mute everything and do this nuclear codes. Just
Okay,
hang with us for a second. All right, looks like we have accessed the bunker.
All right, so there we are. Yeah, my equity was my margin balance. I was actually down about a Bitcoin, but not near what I would have suffered had I not lightened up. If you go go to the account up there. Well, you just hit fills. We can look at it that way. Hit your fills down there at the bottom and scroll up. And we can see what we got. We need to kind of scroll up anyway. Yeah, we don't need to see the top. Okay, now let's go fills. Okay, so looks like I already did a little bit of, go scroll down and we'll show them where I started buying. Okay, right there. Now we can see where I started selling. I was selling 96.37. There's XBT. I sold it 97.88, 98.78, 98.69. I was selling up there over 98. Okay. Now we're broken. I'm buying against 9,000. Actually,
XRP. Bought some XRP.
So I basically
it's XBTC. Sorry, that's Bitcoin.
That's Bitcoin. That's September Bitcoin. I was selling well over almost at 99, and then I kept selling. I even sold more than 98.78. Now you can see where I start buying. Go back here. Keep scrolling up. Okay, there's where I started. That was Ethereum. Okay, there's where I start buying at 95.30.
91. You got 91 buy here.
91.05. There you go. 91, 90, 90, 98. So I'm buying against that 90.
Right.
And I did a little trade in there because I bought it. The market just got out, but I kept buying about there's some I bought under 9,000. There's some keep scrolling down.
89,
88. I bought in. There's my price orders. I wanted 88, 98 on as much as I could get. I wound up getting it in September, which is great. Right. Now I did sell a little bit. Notice that I did sell just a little bit on the way up already. And so I've lightened up, but my position now, I was down to 200,000 in net longs. I'm now back up to what? 280,000. So basically I added to my position. I added 80,000 to my position. Yeah. So that's 250, 200, 207, 280. Yeah. So I've added 80,000 to my position that I knocked down to as low as 200,000. And that's not my full long position. That's it. This is just a pretty decent place to buy it. what I really want to look at is the weekly again, because this is what we're anticipating. You can try that.
Perpetual.
Yeah, it won't show up very well there. You got to go back to the Bitcoin wisdom.
Right.
But
yeah, no, it crashes on.
I'm looking. What I want to be set up, because next week we are kind of hitting a critical area. If we don't finish strong this week, we're going to have a relatively quiet week, and then I'll be a buyer next week. If we you see that green red candle that we have now. Now it could break on down below the weekly low and 2 week lows. If it takes out one, it'll probably take out the other, but most likely we're not going to do that. We could actually close higher, or just finish in this range. And if that happens, then next week I want to be a buyer below this week's lows. Now it may go down and take out that 2 week low down there. And so I want to be prepared. I don't know that I'll get real bearish because of that. That's how I measure a trend line, but it's not going to surprise me. If we have enough people that have bought this thing and it's crap, we're going to probably take it back down there. The thing is, you just want to be in a position, regardless of what the market is doing, you want to be in position to take advantage of it. I don't know where the market is going, but I do have a good idea what I'm going to do if it gets there, depending upon how it gets there. It's dynamic. So you ask me now what I'm going to do. I don't know. It depends upon how the market gets there and what it's doing. But that's what I'm looking for right now is a quiet week in here, and either we're just going to resume the trend and keep on going up, or we check out this week's lows next week. I have no choice, but that's probably a good place to be buying, particularly if we knock the basis into backwardization. So, okay, we want to throw this open to discussion if anybody has questions.
Let's do a little Q&A. All right.
And I do have to get going, guys. I got a full plate
be a
today and tomorrow, so we may not do a show till tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a short
we won't
show.
till tomorrow night.
We'll do probably half an hour max, and then that's it. Let me see. There was some questions up here. Well, let's take out that mining one. I mean, you already talked about it, but maybe I have some thoughts on it too. Miners more than 50% behind, and a significant number of miners will be capitulating in less than days. Price near 6,000 around June 2 to 5. And then 20-30% difficulty adjustment. New miners soon equals price floor.
Is that somebody's prediction?
I'm not sure exactly what he's
saying. Don't waste my time.
Right.
You don't know that. I don't know it. I know I don't know, and that's the difference. Right. If you want to, it's no big deal. That I can kind of tell you don't know your ass from the hole in the ground if you're trying to make a prediction and all that stuff. Because if you're right, all it's going to do is reinforce bad habits. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that said, the halving did show a kind of like the consequence of the halving has been so far that the block rate has been slower, and the memory pool has been a little bit fuller. Transaction fees have been higher, and that brings back memories of the scaling sort of limits that we hit in 2017 and such. Granted, we're actually pretty okay right now still. Except for that the difficulty had to readjust and the blocks need to start coming on again at an average of 10 minutes and so that the network can sort of catch up and adjust to this difficulty adjustment. So I think there's some interesting stuff in the market happening there, but at the end of the day, we know that Bitcoin is scarce, and that's probably already priced in.
For everybody because they do charge high. I mean, I didn't want to pay it, but I was sending 8 Bitcoins, $20 is nothing. But if you're a small trader, you can't spend $20 every time to move your Bitcoin around. So you're gonna have to take a little bit more exchange risk, or you have to be just a little bit tighter money manager. There are other exchanges.
It's like $20 to get the Fiat, the Bitcoin now, right?
Yeah, it took me 20.022, which was close to about $20.
Yeah. But again, I don't think this is going to be kind of like this in a few months, like 2 months, probably the difficulty adjustment will find probably another balance, right? And it will adjust to the sort of the new mining industry.
Yeah. So, and this is just for exchanges, guys. I don't know how the other exchanges are going to work. Now, I do know I did try Bybit and Deribit, and I kind of, I did not rate, they might have changed since I tried them, but I did not rate Bybit high. Deribit was a little better. There was some opportunities there, particularly for smaller and medium traders on arbitrage between the bid and ask, which was kind of cool. I don't recommend that you do options at all, because that's a loser's market unless you write them and you know what you're doing. But I do want to look into this new exchange, the Swan exchange, because they seem like they're going to allow you to dollar cost average. You can set up your own way where you can buy like $10 a day every day, or $10 a week. Now they do have a kind of a sliding commission, because if you're buying small amounts, it's going to cost them, it costs them more. It's just, I'm in the voice broadcasting business, and we sell our calls by 100,000 call units. And when I first did that, I offered it with unlimited setups where people could use it whenever they wanted. Well, then I found out there were people that would buy those, and because we set it up for them, make sure they're compliant and everything. So I said, these guys were getting I had to honor the contract. They're just making maybe 1,000, a few hundred calls or whatever. And they wind up, making 50 or 100 different campaigns on one group of calls. So we said, okay, same rate, but you only get 3 free campaigns. And then we charge $20 setup for everything over 3, which that's essentially what they have to do. If you're going to be buying more often with smaller amounts, in order to cover those costs, it's going to have a higher rate. So you need to figure it out that way. So you see that we just published the latest dollar cost averaging on a monthly basis. It starts with $500 a month, which anybody that's truly frugal, even if you're only making $2,000 a month, if you're really serious about getting ahead, you bite the bullet, you eat beans and rice, and you buy Bitcoin and you hodl it.
Right.
Guys, it's that simple.
Yep.
It's that simple. I mean, what I said, you know what? All these investment advisors out, they advertise on the radio, don't make a mistake in your Social Security. Well, you know what? I didn't make a mistake in my Social Security. I took it as soon as I could. Okay. And I think I started in 2011. And when I found Bitcoin, I just put it every month into Bitcoin. You know what? By putting your Social Security $1,000 a month in Bitcoin since 2013, since the peak, if you start at that peak of $1,000, went over $1,000, went over the gold price. If you started in 2000, what was that? Be 14, I think it was. Start at that peak, and you dollar cost average, you're a millionaire today.
Right.
Your net worth is well over.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to beat dollar cost averaging.
So you don't have to, if you're going to trade, you get your hodl first, guys. That's what we call hodling. Okay. Yeah. Then we do what we call saving. It's going to make you some money. Reward yourself. Take your wife out to dinner, go on a vacation, buy her a new car, buy a new laptop. And then the last thing we want to do is we need to build it. And we don't build on shit coins. We build on Bitcoin. That's what Ugly Old Goat. This is what we're doing back here. And hopefully whatever you're good at, the goat lady, I'm not very technical. She's less technical, but she's got these great hands. She wants to be a fashion designer, and she's got 20 people over there right now to be a fashion designer. You got to go where the money is, and right now that's a mask. So
yeah, we love masks right now. All right, so hit that like button, everybody. We got 130 people watching this live right now. For those that want to be in the comment section, come over to Ugly Old Goat's YouTube channel, and we'll be able to catch your questions, your comments. We're live streaming to about 6-7 different social networks and accounts right now. So there's probably maybe a couple hundred people watching.
Twitter
this
too?
is live on Twitter, Facebook.
Oh, really?
My
Facebook. Whoa.
Yeah.
See, that's what Juan Galt does. He's taking care of this thing. He wants to take us to a whole new level, and I think it'll work. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I've got my work cut out for me because we have pretty well decided I need to do a
pound that like button.
Yeah, pound that like button. I think who's that?
That's
Bitcoin Meister.
Bitcoin Meister.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be on his show on Friday. By the way, he got some YouTube trouble. He got his YouTube channel banned because he just talked smack about the Rona. You can't talk smack about the Rona if you talk.
Corona.
Yeah. And so they took him down.
I saw that. Where he said, "I'm defying," and because basically he's advocating breaking the law. So that's we can't do that,
right. Yeah. Anyway,
Because
he's got a
even
backup
though it's
channel.
not
We're
the
gonna.
law, all
Yeah.
it is guidelines. So
Yeah.
how can it be a law if it's guidelines?
Yeah. No, it's pretty much unconstitutional, and there's gonna be some legal battles here on that. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna be in the show on Friday. Shout out to Adam Meister. But yeah, smash that like button. More people will get to see this show and learn about money management and stop complaining when they get wrecked. This guy on Twitter, and Angelo BTC, he's like, oh, people that short sell are basically the scum of the earth, just completely demonizing short sellers as selfish and like should be financially destitute. What do you think about that narrative? And he had like 1,500 likes on that tweet, right?
He doesn't understand. He
It's
doesn't
ridiculous.
understand. Yeah, he does not understand markets. And he doesn't understand trading. There's nothing wrong with short selling. Okay. Now, there's something wrong if you go net short Bitcoin.
Right.
And so I was a victim. Somebody that was parading as a girl, but was actually a man, and he called me. Oh, and he hit everybody. Tone Bay, go. We tell people to go short. No. Tone Bays has never said that. I've never said that. They did that to Tyler Jenks. Tyler Jenks, we're bulls, man. We're hodlers. We hold Bitcoin. But do you hedge your position? You're silly if you don't. Now, does that mean you ever sell more than you have? No. If you sell even 80% of what you have, you still are net long. Okay. I've never sold that much. I have sold as much as maybe 20 or 30% on futures. And I've written about it. I said, this is how a hedge works, because even though the market's going against you, your net worth is increasing. What you're doing. And one of the best examples I have is I tweeted out, buy Lambos here and sell Lambos here. And when the market was going up and up and up, the goat lady, she wanted an F-150 Raptor, and they were down here in Mexico about $10,000 or $15,000 cheaper than they were in the United States. So we bought that silly Raptor for like 3 Bitcoin, maybe 3.5 Bitcoin. It was 60 grand. Bitcoin was over 20,000 here in Mexico, and so we bought the Raptor. She drove it a year and decided, I'm going to trade it in and get some equipment, and a year later, Bitcoin was 3,500. So essentially, she bought her Raptor here
at the top
and sold it down here and picked up, I don't know, 20 Bitcoin or more. If you do Lambos, it's like 7 and 42. So the thing
Lambo
is,
index.
it's a land. So you have a truck, buy Lambo here, sell Lambo here. Yeah. Lambos is a store of value. Yeah. Look, Bitcoin is a lousy store of value, and it sucks as cash. Okay. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but it is a speculation. You need to understand it's a very wise speculation. You're silly not to have at least 5 to 15% of your net worth in it. Yeah. But to go to think it's a store of value when it can lose 80% or 90%, to think that it can be used as cash. Why would you want to use it as cash if it's going up? If it's a store of value, then you don't want to. Yeah. Plus, once you establish your wealth, I pay everything in my fiat, and they, they pay me because I use my credit cards to do it. I don't have to pay them back for 30 to 60 days, and they reward me from 1, 2 to 5% every time I use. Yeah. Why do I want to use Bitcoin?
Yeah. One day Bitcoin will be money, hopefully, and I think that is the long-term goal. But we're a long ways away from that.
And it will be free to use because it won't be. People won't demand the securities. Look, if you're a hodler and you believe that we're our own banks, we need to start acting like bankers. Yeah. It's that simple.
But not in the dirty way. We don't want to recreate the same world that the bankers
created.
It just means investing. You want to be investing.
We need to learn what did
you want to become an entrepreneur and a businessman.
Right. And you extend credit.
We choose what gets the money in a sense.
Right. And we, for example, we don't need to use the network once we build. I believe in trusted third parties, not ultimately, but to do business with. I do business with my word and a handshake.
Yeah,
that's the way
you gotta know how to judge people, and you gotta know how to manage trust, to manage the risk and trust.
You gotta make mistakes, and this is what Juan is here for, because there's a lot of things that I need to learn that I don't have implemented yet. Yes, security is a big issue now because I have people that depend on us, so I can't. and that's the responsibility.
Anyway, you're doing pretty good, but we're going to upgrade you to a whole new level. So.
Right. And that's the other book that we need to write about is we want to get this whole package together, how to put yourself on the Bitcoin standard. And that's going to be the big project.
Yeah.
And that we won't be able to do that in a year, but maybe in 2. So.
Yeah, you guys will hear more about that. But anyway, I just want to bring back, we like to ramble and do roundabouts around topics, but this Angelo thing is just really funny. And it's kind of like a viral tweet on Twitter right now. So Rachel says, Angelo does understand trading. He was #1 on BitMEX leaderboards. He speaks sarcastically manner a lot, though. Well, maybe if it was sarcasm, then I guess I understand it. But here's the thing: like, if you know anything about statistics, and if you don't, you should read like the Black Swan and all the sort of books by just learn about statistics. You can be lucky 20 times in a row and think you're a genius, and then get smoked, right? And I think he probably just got he was either sarcastic or got wrecked on this dip, and now he's being real salty about it, and a lot of people are salty about it too, apparently. So.
Okay, so somebody's asking,
stuff.
when do you turn bearish on Bitcoin, if ever? Well, that's kind of a loaded question, because I look at it first of all through the eyes of money management. The #1 fundamental in Bitcoin is not Bitcoin. You need to understand that, guys. It's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin was a solution to a problem, and that is one, and it's unique and innovative. There's only one. And there's not, if there's 2, then the experiment's a failure. You need to understand why there's only one. It took me a long time. I was a shitcoiner. Had all kinds of things. Oh, this is better than Bitcoin. I'll get into this one or that one or so forth. It wasn't until I kind of reread Hayek, and he clearly indicates, when he talks about competition in currencies, denationalizing money, and free market banking, he was not talking about competing standards. He recognized that one standard would emerge, and that would be the competition, and that standard will compete with the governments. I'll actually take it to the next level. I think that Bitcoin has given the world hope that in order for countries to get the wealth that Bitcoiners are going to have, they're going to have their own sound money. And I think that sound money is a gold standard. So I'm bullish on gold. I think the gold standard will come back. Gold's perfect for nation states because it's physical and they can control it. And that's what they want. But if they start playing a dishonest game, for example, they might be able to seize my body and imprison me, but they can't seize my wealth. And that's a potential ticket to get your body out too. Right. But I'm just saying that's what's going on here. And that's the strength of Bitcoin. And so we do, we do have to eventually watch each other's back. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be, and we don't know where it's going to come from. I mean, I think that most heavy hitter is going to eventually be the United States because they have the power. They still have the military. And, we want to control. We are empire. The United States is empire building and wants to influence and control everyone. And
I mean, it might feel in Twitter like we're just a bunch of cowboys slinging shit here and left and right. But at the end of the day, we're a tiny group of people. We're like we're probably in like the tens of thousands. I mean, I don't know how many people we have, but we're a fraction of the world. And I think there's a really good argument for trying to build a society, right? Especially
and we just have to have faith too. I mean, that's part of it too. Is that people, faith, our founding fathers, are basically it was found on. I mean, you can try and deny it, but you got to go back there and look at Puritan ethics, and it's all over the place. And that was the example that even George Washington made, that he stepped down from power. That they realized, they also recognized our condition, that we are by nature depraved, sinful. And so we believe in limited government. We believe in governments, first of all. I'm not an anarchist. I don't support this anarcho-capitalism at all, because there's huge fallacies in it. I've outlined that in other places. But I do definitely believe in limited government. And that's, where their government has a legitimate function, and that is to punish evildoers and to defend both internally, citizens internally and
Yeah.
externally
I mean,
from these
I've been
evildoers.
an anarchist. I was an anarchist for about 10 years. I'm sort of an anarchist now, but I think at the end of the day, you need to be able to defend against organized statist sort of military invasions. And I don't really see anarchists with a very sort of good game theory understanding of that, or of the world for that matter. So I do think that,
Well,
at
and
the end of the day,
right.
governments will form based on defense at the very least. And
Well,
then
one of our weaknesses now
and so on.
strategically is that we have lost this idea, not completely, but we've lost the innovation that comes from freedom.
Yeah.
And the people that are sitting around say, "Oh, well, they want the free money. They don't understand all the economic ramifications. They just, all they say." And we built it because we built this welfare state.
Mhm.
We've taken the limited government. Well, the
Right.
government not only needs
Yeah,
to
it's
protect
ridiculous
us
right now.
against evildoers, but it needs to feed us. It needs to give
Oh
us
my
health
God.
care. It has to give us a minimum,
Yeah.
income. No, it doesn't do
No,
that.
it really doesn't.
And
Yeah.
that
It's ridiculous right now.
we are given hunger
Yeah.
so we can subdue the earth, and we're commanded to do that. So
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I'm off on a tangent.
Yeah,
Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think we're kind of coming to the end of this show. I mean, it's 1:26, and we said we'd ended at 1:30. So,
That's a good comment. Half the so-called hodlers on Twitter aren't hodlers, but leveraged long.
yeah, and I just got
Right.
smoked.
And it's okay to be leveraged long,
Yeah.
as long as you're only risking 5% of your hodl that you have the keys for.
Yeah, Bitcoin motorist says, "Yeah, whatever, Juan. All I hear is quote, I'm a statist." Crying, laughing emoji, joking. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Call it what you wanted. So I have a question. I mean, obviously, again, like somebody was asking, is it possible that we'll hit 6K? Everything's possible.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but like, what's your sense of like how far? Like, I don't think this is done. I'm not sure that this is done dropping. I could totally be wrong. I don't really know where it's going, but it
I
does.
don't know for sure, but
Let's just look at the market again.
yeah, I mean, it's I'm not looking for this mark to fall out of bed. I'm really not, but it certainly can. And so that's why I reduced my exposure.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing to me is that this dip has been very slow.
Yes.
Whereas usually the dips that have led to kind of a new bull market have been very fast and very long wicks. And I don't really see a long wick here yet. I mean, it depends, I guess, the time frame you look at it. But, look, even in the hourly,
we're still on an uptrend. This is a Thursday. I like the fact that we have a sell-off on a Thursday, and now we should rally up through the weekend. Mm-hmm. Next week's a whole new ball game.
Right.
Could this thing just fall apart? Yeah, it can.
Right.
But I've already taken 19 Bitcoin out, guys, so I can get completely erect. I'm not a weak hand.
Right.
I'm strong hand, but I'm not going to sit around here and I'm not going to bet the farm that this thing's, the best analogy I can say is that what this thing just looks to me like we were at 6,500 and it took us forever to break that and finally go down. Most likely that's what we're going to be here now. We're just going to, even if we break out and go over 10,000, it will probably fail again. And just be in here and fake people out. And it could be for months. Tone really, I thought, made a pretty good bet. He said, you know what? He doesn't think the market's going to be over 10,000 for more than 90 days. And you know what? I kind of think I wouldn't want to bet against that. I just wouldn't, because that would be very, very healthy for Bitcoin, guys. You don't understand that
in 2020.
Yes. Yeah. Because when we do break out, and we sizably, get up to 15,000, that now, you don't want it to be the rapid rise like we had last fall. Last fall we went from 6,500 to 12,000 in 2 weeks. If we have a slow grinding market, a sideways market in here, and then we break out to the upside and then retrace and get all the breakout buyers out again, and then we go up, now it's legitimate. The bull, it's very rare for a market right in here just to take off because everybody wants it to and thinks it will, and all the chart patterns say it is. I mean, I use technical analysis, but I also have it as a very low priority. The first priority is your money management. The second is your fundamentals. The distant third is the technicals, and it just get, there's so many you can use. Just pick a few. You don't need a lot of them. Be an analyst, don't be an analyst. Uh, and you using money management, you're going to do just fine. The idea that this market can, nobody knows where it's going to go, and I'm the last one that knows. So, but there is right now, yeah, this is if we can just stay in this trading range and for months, the longer we can do it, the more healthy it's going to be in the long run. It's giving you guys a great chance of dollar cost average.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I would really not like to see it go up from here. I'd rather just see it go sideways. I'm happy with it. So.
Yeah. This is probably a good time to just talk about the new promotion we're doing at uglyoldgoat.com. So you're going to be, there's a special bonus with the equity app, and which is the money management tool that we showed you guys earlier. It's in active development. It's growing very fast. It has dark mode now. Do you want to talk about that, since we got about probably 200 people watching this live right now? So.
Yeah, it's a way that you can measure your equity. Basically, the idea came. The idea came because I was trading the BitMEX margin box, and I just realized, hey, that's what I use as my guide. I don't want to have these downturns in equity. And so I actually went to Tone first, say, hey, you know what? I want to apply the sequential to my own equity. I think it'd be very useful. And essentially he dismissed it, but he called me back. I'm going to talk to Tyler about this. And nobody got back with me. But in the meantime, Victor came up, who was a subscriber or follower of mine, says, yeah, I want to do this. I want to hone my programming skills anyway. So he actually built the system, and it's completely independent from me. I get nothing out of it. He sells it. I do promote it because this is building, because he's building on Bitcoin. This is a building. And so to lifetime members, he sells it for $200. That's right. That we didn't include it with the lifetime membership because
so only lifetime members get it for $200.
Right.
And then
normally it's $300. If you're not a lifetime member, it's $300. But what we're doing now, we're not doing lifetime memberships anymore. If you're going to become a member, it's the same price, but it's for 1 year, and then it's yearly renewable. Hopefully we build enough value, and you'll see what we're doing, that you want to renew every year. You'll get the equity app free. That comes part with it. So you can
comes with support as well.
Yeah, you can load all of my trades in it, or you can load your own trades in it, or anybody that sends you a CSV file, you can load their trades in it and do all kinds of statistical analysis.
That's right.
So that's the advantage of it.
So if you sign up today, and while this promotion is going on, I think he said it's only going to be for like a month. Victor said, no, that's a different thing.
I want to keep going.
Okay. So if you subscribe,
basically, for them to do, this is not something they have to do. I'm going to offer it all year. I'm just telling them, look, and I'm paying every time you guys order. I'm paying Victor because he's a full-time engineer. He's very responsible. I would have him on the show, but I just know he's too busy. We'll have him on again. And but we do want him to eventually become independent. It's a big thing. I've always been an entrepreneur, but for somebody that has gone the traditional route and have worked their way up a corporate society, to make that leap, it's a big leap, and I get that.
100% needs to be rewarded for his work. So new subscribers, you get the equity app included, and it's a cutting edge way of looking at your equity. Nobody else is doing anything like this that we can tell. Nobody else is publishing their trades, the CSV file of their BitMEX trades.
I'm the only one I know of that my publishing. Here, I just lay it all out there, guys. And I was going to say, for our lifetime members, they do have to buy it, because this is something we developed since then. It's not
they get a special discount.
They get a special discount, and they never have to pay for support. There's never a renewal. So the support, you guys, when you renew, I'm going to give part of that renewal to Victor, because he's going to keep supporting and improve. I mean, the equity app's gotten a lot more sophisticated. He just did an update on it, and it's a whole different ballgame from what it was
Yeah, no, it's looking good, and it's definitely.
And he could show it off
a big
more
deal.
than I mean. He's a I'm not a statistics guy, but he is, and he can show. Well, Ugly did this here, and
yeah,
I did.
He's really data mining Ugly's trading, which is really interesting.
Uh,
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's very interesting to sort of look at your own kind of like try to chart to your own trading and your own emotional kind of appraisal of the market, right? I think there's a lot of potential there. This cutting edge, and they might give you an edge over the market, especially you know what does it say about the technical analysts and the technical analysis narrative in dominant in crypto and today that all the indicators were bullish and yet we dipped, you know?
Yeah, and everybody was bullish, and that was just enough for me. And then this other story came out, and I just, you know what? I'm still bullish. I'm not going to change my mind, but I'm going to lighten up my position by half. And then I was able to purchase it back today. So I'm a little bit different, guys, because I've never changed my bullish posture. Now, this guy asked a good question. Michael Probst says, do you put a type stop loss on your position or only protect from liquidation? You know, I'm not that concerned, and I have enough in there that they're going to have to really do something to liquidate me. I don't use stops. Occasionally, I will if I'm traveling or something in a certain situation, but very, very rarely. Uh, uh, Stops are meant to be run. People put them all at the same places. I teach goat stops.
Right.
I teach that you stop from if my equity dips a certain amount, then I get out. I don't use a stop. If it happens, then I say, okay, I'm going to get out here. I haven't taken enough, but not certain magic points. The problem that you have with stops is the market can break and run through stops when the cash market never did it. If you get wrecked, I realize it costs a little bit more to get wrecked, but the thing is, the market has to be legitimate. It has to legitimately be going down there to get wrecked. But the key is, it's okay to get wrecked. You just don't want it to happen very often.
Yeah, and if you trade the way Ugly suggests, where you only have a sliver of your hodl on BitMEX, then you can't get fundamentally wrecked.
I mean, I
can
get wrecked today and I'll lose 3 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which to him is like very little. So,
yeah. I mean, it's not going to affect me. One, it's just, noise. So,
small portion.
Right. And it's, very, very, and you got to look at it. But the other thing too, you got to go through all this stuff. Hey guys, if you're thinking of subscribing, first of all, don't subscribe unless you have a hodl.
Right.
Number two, most of the stuff that I have, in fact, almost all of it can be gotten from the website or Medium. Medium has a lot of articles on it, not on the website because we haven't been able to transcribe them all. But all your questions are answered there. If you do get a membership, we started a Telegram group. I come on there. I try and get on there every day, but I can't answer your questions stuff. But
it's a good place to get like live updates of the market from when Ugly's trading. But we do also private live streams where we kind of go expand on his positions, and then he has the newsletter where he sort of writes it down.
The newsletter, I do it more, then I kind of, that's much more thorough. And so, it's a balancing act. I'm doing more and more and more. But the bottom line is, you need to learn trading. I don't want you guys, everybody, they think they want to
follow. There's no way. There's no way they can depend on your trading. It's just the market. And I don't give investment
advice or do all the disclaimers. The only thing I'm doing is, hey, I'm a consistently successful trader. I'm willing to make it public, and I'm willing to share the philosophy that I use, because I don't have any trading ideas. My ideas are changing constantly.
Right.
Just before I reduced my position by 50%, I wrote an article, is this time to double down?
Right.
And at the time, I thought, well, maybe it is. And I did more. I said, I'm going to do the opposite. So there are times to double down, and I wrote an article about it. But in reality, I didn't double down. I actually reduced my position in half, and I haven't doubled down now. All I've done is pick back up that I reduced. And so that's called trimming, guys.
Yeah.
And all I've done is improve my overall position. If the market continues to drop, of course, it's not going to help me. But if we go back up to where we were, my equity is going to be higher than ever. And I'm in the driver's seat. And I don't have the exchange risk that I had, because instead of having, what did I have on there? 8 plus 4. Instead of having 12 Bitcoin on there, I got 3 Bitcoin.
Yeah, you took out 8 Bitcoin just now. Yeah. All right, I have one question, and I think we should end with this one. Do you want to look at Ethereum chart real quick? Because you're shorting Ethereum right now, and it's doing pretty well. So this is the Ethereum USD on, let me see, this is on BitMEX. Is
Right.
that what you want to look at, or?
Yeah, and the reason I'm short mainly is to pick up the funding, because the funding on Ethereum and XRP is good. It's a way to kind of hedge my position. That is one of the disconcerting things where I think we could get a breakdown below 8,000, even to 6,000, because I do think that the altcoins, are going to really get hit hard. Not only just against Bitcoin, but against dollars too. Maybe they'll hold up with dollars. I don't know, but I just you want to pull up the trading view Bitcoin dominance chart, because that's what I think that might be one to look at.
All right, let me find that. Give me a
I
minute.
do think that we're going to be returning to dominance. I do think that Tone Bay's made a prediction that he thought it would be going up to 85, 90, 95%. I made a prediction here just recently. I said in 5 years, there's not going to be one shitcoin that has even 1% of the dominance. I think what's going on now is we're really educating people on why Bitcoin is unique and why it's the standard. Everything, and they don't understand, if an altcoin becomes the standard, it's not going to be usable as cash. That's what Roger Freeman doesn't get. Gold was never used as cash, guys, except where it was plentiful. It was used as cash in California in one location at a specific time during the California gold rush. It was never used as cash. On the East Coast, people used cash substitutes. They used coinage that had a face value in gold, but the intrinsic value was less, or they used banknotes, same thing.
Right.
So I think that being on the Bitcoin standard will probably be free.
Yeah, I think
to transfer actual Bitcoin, that's going to cost you.
Right.
That's
well, one of my favorite moments of the Bitcoin Standard book by Saifedean was his analysis that the meaning of the word cash in the Bitcoin white paper was meant to be more like a bearer asset, sort of the old traditional meaning of the word cash, which I don't know how to fact check that, but it makes a lot more sense.
That's what it is. It's a bearer asset. It's just like,
right.
Yeah. So
so here we have
it's for clearing purposes. It's for clearing purposes.
Yeah. So you'll be able to use your Visa.
Somebody becomes just, that's how banks checked each other. If a bank was making bad loans and the other banks they would immediately, they'd be presenting those for the gold immediately as fast as they could. A stronger bank, you're not, okay, this guy, I know his business operation, he's pretty damn good. But that's the reality of the situation. So is this the Bitcoin?
This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Yeah.
Okay. And that's the daily. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So we revert, and what do we got on there?
A little reverse. Yeah.
5. Okay. Let's go look at the weekly and the monthly.
Got a 5 on the daily.
All right. So there we are on and go to the monthly, because I think that the monthly is one that's okay. Well, there's okay. That's
red 6.
What?
Yeah, so it's a red.
I'll be out in a minute, Eric. We're doing a show right now.
All right.
I'll do the show. I don't know what I'm looking. That chart doesn't look familiar with me.
This is the Bitcoin dominance monthly. That's the monthly chart.
Well, at any rate, I'm looking for it to go back up to that.
Yeah, that's the monthly.
Way up where we were. Oh, okay, that's the monthly. Okay, so the monthly, so we did have that monthly went over the previous month, and we're kind of up trading. Let's look at the what were you, the daily? Let's go back to the daily. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess we the downtrend doesn't seem to be over on this one, but I don't know.
Well, we're in an uptrend. We're just selling off. You got a double bottom against an uptrend. So I mean, if you're going to reverse, this is where you're going to reverse. Hit your shorter term. Let's go look at the 1 hour and 4 hour, and we'll look at that. Sure. It's hard to time this thing. Okay, there you go. You got a
C13.
Yeah. But you got that thing where you got, I like it when you get a 9 and then it has 3 candles below that 9. It's usually a reversal. That's one thing I've got to notice about the thing, about 9s. Yeah. But
You definitely got a red 9 right there.
Yeah, you got a red 9. Go to your 30-minute. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, and that's the whole problem. If we really hit, the altcoins, it can drag the Bitcoin back on it, but it might just be Bitcoin goes up. And I mean, I hate to see it where the dollar value of the shitcoins go up too.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible too. You just don't know. I do think that you're going to see more and more. And this is not a good index, guys, because most of your shitcoins is in the top 3 or 4. Your Litecoin, your Bcash, your Ethereum, what else is up there, and all these other shitcoins. It's way too thin, and so if you tried to sell them, you would drive the market down so far that it's really
most of the altcoins
we're not at 67%. We're probably more at 75 or 80.
Oh, probably, yeah.
You know, but so this this chart actually does favor the shitcoins because they don't figure in the liquidity.
All right, I think we're done with the show. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Eddie for helping us keep this show going when I'm not around. And for helping you grow it all the way to this point. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. We got 170 people watching. That's got to be a new high.
Yeah, sorry we didn't do. We this was just off the cuff and not well prepared. We'll try and get a better prepared and not bad, but I mean we know what we're doing, guys, and the track record speaks for itself. Yeah. And like I say, I did sell the before this break. I took off. I didn't change my position. I reduced my position. That's equity trading. We got the break, and that's also called trimming. I trimmed my position. Now we got the break, and I bought back not everything of what I sold, but I bought back about half, maybe a little over half of what I sold. 700 or 800 points higher, and so that's. Am I right? I don't know, but I'm positioned better, and my risk is lower, and that's the name of the game. You gotta, you have to be able to. You can't play the game if you don't have the equity. So you protect your equity at all costs. I just watched a show. I should tweet that out.
Yeah, if
Tone
you
just did a show with Leo Wald and some other, and he covered a lot. It was a pretty good show, and they did. I mean, he emphasized the whole emphasis, guys, is money management. But the average trader doesn't want to hear that. If they don't want to hear that, then they're probably not a successful trader or won't be a successful trader because everything has to be centered around that. It has to be part of your DNA. Once you get that, once you get the Bitcoin fundamentals and the money management, now the TA world is open to you. Now you can really, it can be very useful for you. But if you have it backward, it's better that you not even know about TA.
Yeah, I mean, if your trading is leading you to be so kind of angry and basically rageful,
or that
people that are shorting the market such that you think that it's like evil or something,
or if you think you know where the market is going, if you think you can read a chart and make a chart tells you the history, it doesn't tell you the future.
Right.
It just doesn't. I don't know the future.
If that's where you're at, you need to learn to manage your risk, and that's what money management is all about.
You guys can all be much better traders than I am. It's not that hard, but you can, in fact, there's a lot of them that are much, much better traders than I am, but they all get wrecked.
Right.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
All right, everybody, hit that like button. We got 180 people watching right now. So please hit that like button so that more people get this show, more people get to learn about this stuff. We'll probably get a more stable marketplace if people learn to manage their risk more. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, we'll have to do a shot the other way. And we got, hopefully the next time we do a show, we'll have a pinball machine.
Yeah, we'll show
we
you
got
guys
a dartboard in here now. Hey, you guys need to get a screen up of there, not use this one. So it's constant the whole time. We got extra screen.
Yeah, we can add another screen to that.
Just put a screen up there. So
and try not to hit it with the dart.
We can do a camera the other way and we can actually be playing darts while we do the show.
Yeah, totally. You can totally do that. Look at the goat. We got a goat. It's got a mask. It's not going to get the Rona.
He just spooked the Bitcoin standard staff there because he wanted to be say goodbye to the ugly old goat back there. We're all compliant. Whoa, hodl, hodl, hodl.
Save.
Build. Sound money. We'll see you guys.
And everybody, have a good Thursday.